wrote down that I wanted a role where I felt my voice was heard, and I specifically mentioned a company culture that valued innovation. I didn't get the exact job title I had in mind, but the role I did get, it checked those boxes in spades, and it felt right.
See, that's it. It's not about the universe magically handing you a specific job posting. It's about setting the intention and becoming highly attuned to opportunities that fulfill those deeper needs and desires you've articulated.
So, for anyone feeling a bit lost in their job search, or even just wanting to make a career pivot, this sounds like a foundational exercise. It's not just about finding a job, it's about finding your job.
Absolutely. It brings intentionality to what can often feel like a very random and disheartening process. It gives you a sense of control and direction when it feels like everything is out of your hands.
And the beauty of it is that it costs nothing but a bit of time and a pen and paper. No fancy software, no expensive coaches needed.
Exactly. It's accessible to everyone. And I'd encourage listeners, don't just think about job goals. Think about career goals, life goals that your career supports. The more holistic you make it, the more aligned your life will become.
That's a fantastic point, Rachel. Our careers are such a huge part of our lives, and when they're aligned with our values and desires, everything else tends to fall into place a bit more smoothly.
Totally. So, if you're out there listening and you've been dreaming of a change or just a little more clarity, grab that pen and paper. You might be surprised at what you unleash.
It sounds like a journey worth taking. Thank you for sharing your insights, Rachel. It's truly inspiring.
Thanks, Amber. And to everyone listening, remember, your career path is yours to create. Don't just wander, write your map.
Beautifully put. That's all for today, folks. We hope this episode has given you some food for thought and a powerful tool to take charge of your career journey. Until next time, keep dreaming big and writing bigger.
Welcome back, everyone, to Career Co-Pilot. Today, Amber, we're diving into a topic that I know gives a lot of people major anxiety: resume writing.
Oh, Rachel. Just hearing the words resume and writing in the same sentence makes me want to curl up under a blanket. It's such a chore. The endless staring at a blank page, wondering how to make myself sound competent without sounding like I'm bragging too much.
Exactly. And it's not just about sounding competent, is it? It's about keywords, formatting, tailoring it for every single job. It's a huge time sink. But what if I told you there's a revolutionary way to make that process not just easier, but also far more effective?
I'm listening. Are we talking about hiring a professional resume writer? Because that's not always in the budget for everyone.
Even better in many ways. We're talking about leveraging artificial intelligence. We're going to break down step by step how you can use AI to craft a detailed, compelling resume that truly stands out.
AI for resumes? That sounds futuristic, but also a little intimidating. Like, will it just spit out a generic template? Can it really understand my unique experience?
That's a fantastic question, Amber, and a common misconception. AI isn't here to replace you, it's here to augment you. Think of it as a super smart assistant that can analyze, synthesize, and suggest, saving you hours of frustration. And it absolutely can help you craft something unique with the right approach.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Where do we even begin? Because using AI still feels a bit vague to me.
Right, so let's jump straight into step one, which is actually something you do even without AI, but it becomes even more powerful with it: gathering your raw data. Before you even touch an AI tool, you need to pull together all your work history, education, achievements, skills, and any projects you've worked on.
So basically everything that would normally go on a resume but just in a raw bullet point form.
Exactly. Don't worry about perfect phrasing, action verbs, or anything like that yet. Just get it all down. For each job, list your start and end dates, your title, the company name, and then as many responsibilities and accomplishments as you can think of. Think about quantifiable results. Did you increase sales, reduce costs, improve efficiency? Even if you don't have the exact numbers, estimate them or note down the impact.
Quantifiable results, that's always the tricky part for me. Like, I manage social media, but how do I quantify managed?
That's where AI is brilliant later, but for now, just list managed social media accounts and maybe add what platforms or what the goal was. Increased engagement or grew follower count are good starting points. The more raw detail you give the AI, the better it can work its magic.
Okay, so I have this big messy document of all my career history. What's step 2 in our AI-powered journey?
Step 2 is choosing your AI copilot. Now, this is where it gets interesting because you have options. You could use general purpose AI models like ChatGPT, Google Gemini, or Claude. These are fantastic for generating text, refining sentences, and brainstorming.
Like, I just type, write my resume into ChatGPT.
Not quite. You'd be more specific, which we'll get into with prompts. But beyond general AI, there are also specialized resume builders that integrate AI. Tools like Resume.io, Kick Resume, or even LinkedIn's own resume builder sometimes have AI features that analyze your profile and suggest improvements. They often offer templates and formatting too.
So, if I want more control and customization, I might go with a general AI, and if I want more guidance and formatting, a specialized builder.
That's a great way to put it, Amber. For this walkthrough, we'll mostly focus on the general AI approach, as it gives you the most flexibility and teaches you the underlying principles you can then apply anywhere. So, once you've picked your AI tool, we move to step 3, crafting your core sections, experience, and education.
This is where the real magic happens, right? Turning my messy bullet points into polished professional descriptions.
Precisely. This is where you feed your raw data into the AI. Let's say you're focusing on your previous role as a social media manager. You would give the AI a prompt like, I need bullet points for my resume for a social media manager role. Here are my raw duties and achievements. Paste your raw data. Please use strong action verbs and quantify achievements where possible. Target a role as a senior social media strategist at a tech company. You see how specific that is?
Wow, okay, that's way more detailed than I would have thought. So you're telling it what to do, what data to use, and what kind of job you're aiming for.
Exactly. The target role and company type are crucial because it helps the AI understand the keywords and focus. It might suggest spearheaded instead of managed, or drove a 15% increase in audience engagement through targeted campaigns instead of just increased engagement. It'll identify relevant keywords that applicant tracking systems or ATS look for.
ATS, the dreaded gatekeepers. So AI can help me get past them. That's a huge relief. And what about the education section? Is it just as straightforward?
For education, it's simpler. You'd typically just list your degree, major, institution, and graduation date. If you have significant academic achievements like Latin honors or a particularly relevant thesis, you can prompt the AI to briefly describe its relevance to your target role.
Okay, so we've got the core experience and education sections. What's next? Skills, I'm guessing.
You got it. Step 4 is optimizing your skills and keywords. This is another area where AI truly shines. You can provide the AI with your existing list of skills, and then crucially, you feed it a job description for a role you're interested in.
Ah, so it can compare my skills to what the job is looking for.
Precisely. You could prompt, here is my list of skills, your skills. Here is a job description. Paste job description. Please identify the most relevant skills from my list for this role and suggest any additional skills I might have based on my experience that are mentioned in the job description. It's like having a super fast keyword matcher.
That's brilliant. I always struggle to figure out which skills to highlight and which ones are less relevant for a specific application. This would save so much time.
It absolutely does, and it can also help categorize them into technical skills, soft skills, languages, etc., making your skills section clean and easy to read for both humans and ATS. Now let's talk about the very beginning of your resume. Step 5, crafting a compelling summary or objective.
Oh, the summary. Another head scratcher. How do you summarize your entire career into 2 or 3 lines without sounding bland?
It's tough, but AI can help here too. Once you've generated your experience and skills sections, you essentially have a lot of good, optimized content. You can then prompt the AI based on the following experience and skills paste optimized sections. And targeting a job title role at an industry company, please write a concise, impactful, professional summary for my resume. Highlight my specific achievement skills you want to emphasize.
So it's like a grand finale, where it takes everything we've built and condenses it into an elevator pitch for my resume.
Exactly. It can synthesize your key strengths and align them with the job you're applying for, ensuring your resume starts with a bang. It's especially useful if you're making a career change, as it can help bridge the gap between your past experience and your desired future role.
Okay, so now I have an AI-generated resume. Is it done? Can I just hit send?
Absolutely not. And this brings us to step 6, which is perhaps the most critical for making an AI generated resume truly effective: customization and personalization. AI is a tool, not a magic wand. What it gives you is a fantastic first draft, an optimized framework. Your job is to make it sound like you.
So, even though the AI has done a lot of the heavy lifting, I still need to go in and make it my own.
100%. Read through everything. Does it accurately reflect your accomplishments and contributions? Does the tone match your professional brand? Are there any specific industry terms or company values from the job description that you want to subtly weave in that the AI might have missed? This is where your human touch, your unique voice, comes into play.
That makes sense. I wouldn't want to sound like a robot, even if a robot helped me write it. What about formatting? Does the AI do that too?
That depends on the AI tool. If you're using a specialized resume builder with AI, it will often handle formatting automatically. If you're using a general AI like ChatGPT, it will give you the text and you'll then need to copy it into a well-designed template or format it yourself. I recommend using a clean, professional template that's easy to read and ATS friendly.
Good to know. So, after all that, is there a final step before I send it off to my dream job?
There is indeed, Amber, and it's step 7, proofreading and refining. This is non-negotiable. Even the most sophisticated AI can make mistakes. Typos, grammatical errors, or awkward phrasing can slip through.
Oh, absolutely. I've heard stories of people getting rejected over a single typo. It's brutal out there.
It is, so read it aloud, have a friend or mentor read it. Use a spell checker and grammar checker like Grammarly. The goal is perfection. You want your resume to be a flawless representation of your professional self.
So, to recap, gather raw data, choose your AI tool, craft your experience and education, optimize skills, write a summary, personalize it, and then proofread rigorously. That actually sounds manageable, especially with AI doing so much of the heavy lifting.
It absolutely is. And here are a few extra tips for using AI effectively. First, always provide context. The more information you give the AI about the job, the company, and your aspirations, the better its output will be. Second, don't be afraid to iterate. If the first output isn't quite right, tell the AI what you want changed. Make it more concise, use stronger action verbs, focus more on leadership skills.
So it's a conversation, not just a one-off request.
Exactly. Think of it as your writing partner. Also, be mindful of over-reliance. While AI is powerful, your critical thinking and understanding of your own career narrative are indispensable. Always verify facts and ensure authenticity. You don't want to overstate something or include something that's not truly reflective of your abilities.
That's a really important point. It's about empowering your own story, not letting the AI create a new one for you. What about ethical considerations? Should I tell a recruiter I used AI?
That's a nuanced question. Generally, it's not something you need to disclose, just like you wouldn't necessarily tell them you used a spell checker or a particular word processor. The resume is ultimately your document, representing your qualifications. The AI was merely a tool in its creation, much like grammar checkers or templates. The key is that the final output is accurate and reflects you.
That makes sense, as long as it's my words and my experience, just polished by a really smart tool. I feel like a huge weight has been lifted just thinking about approaching resume writing this way.
That's the goal. AI can turn a daunting, time-consuming task into an efficient, even enjoyable process. It democratizes access to high-quality resume writing by giving everyone a powerful assistant. It allows you to focus on the strategic elements of your career search rather than getting bogged down in the mechanics of writing.
I'm genuinely excited to try this out. I've got a few job applications I've been putting off, and now I feel like I have a clear roadmap. No more staring at that blinking cursor for hours.
Fantastic. So, for all our listeners out there, don't let the resume writing dread hold you back. Embrace AI as your career co pilot. Follow these steps, and you'll be well on your way to a resume that truly opens doors. Good luck with your applications, Amber, and to everyone listening.
Thanks, Rachel. This has been incredibly helpful. To all our listeners, give it a shot. You might just surprise yourself with what you can create. And remember to personalize it, make it yours. Until next time, happy job hunting.
Absolutely. That's all for this episode of Career Copilot. We'll catch you next time. Welcome back, everyone. Today, Amber and I are diving into a topic that I know resonates with so many of us, especially in these times, job searching. But we're not just talking about dusting off your resume. We're talking about a whole new approach, one that taps into something powerful, the law of attraction.
That's right, Rachel. And specifically, how you can use the law of attraction to find your dream job right here in Michigan. Because let's be real, job hunting can be incredibly stressful. It can feel like you're just throwing applications into the void, hoping something sticks. But what if you could actually attract the right opportunity to you?
Exactly. For those who might be new to this concept, the law of attraction essentially states that like attracts like. Your thoughts, your feelings, your energy, they're all vibrating at a certain frequency, and you're constantly attracting experiences and circumstances that match that frequency. So if you're constantly thinking, this job search is impossible, I'm never going to find anything good, what do you think you're attracting?
More of the same negativity, unfortunately. I mean, I've been there. You get a rejection letter, and it just spirals into this feeling of, oh, I knew it, I'm not good enough. And that feeling just compounds, making it even harder to show up confidently for the next interview, or even to apply for a role you truly want.
Precisely. So the first step in applying the law of attraction to your job search, especially here in Michigan, is to get incredibly clear on what you actually want. And I mean really clear. It's not just a job. What kind of job? What industry? What's the company culture like? What kind of team do you want to work with? What does your commute look like across, say, the Mitten State?
Yes. Are you looking for something in the tech scene in Ann Arbor, or maybe a role in healthcare in Grand Rapids? Or perhaps you're drawn to the automotive innovation happening in Detroit. Visualizing these details helps you send out a much clearer signal to the universe. It's like putting in a specific order, rather than just saying, I'll have the usual.
That's a fantastic analogy, and it includes salary, benefits, work-life balance, everything. Don't hold back. Dream big. If you're looking for a role that allows you to work remotely from your cozy cabin up north, or a hybrid role in a bustling downtown office, visualize it all. The more specific, the better.
I remember when I was looking for my current role, I literally made a vision board. I cut out pictures of companies I admired, words that described the culture I wanted: innovative, collaborative, impactful. And I even put a picture of a desk in a sunny window because I really wanted a bright workspace. It sounds a bit woo-woo, but it really helped solidify what I was aiming for.
That's not woo-woo at all, Amber. That's powerful visualization, which is a key component. Once you're clear on what you want, the next step is to actually believe it's possible for you. This is where a lot of people stumble because those old negative beliefs about not being qualified or there are no good jobs out there can creep in.
Oh, absolutely. The internal dialogue can be brutal. You hear about layoffs or you see really competitive postings, and it's easy to get discouraged. How do you combat that, Rachel? How do you really shift that belief system?
It takes conscious effort, truly. One incredibly effective way is through affirmations, daily affirmations. Instead of thinking, I'm struggling to find a job, you tell yourself, I am capable and worthy of an amazing job that fulfills me, or opportunities are flowing to me effortlessly in the Michigan job market. Repeating these, especially when you feel doubt creeping in, helps rewire your subconscious mind.
I like that. It's about consciously choosing your thoughts, right? And also, I think it's important to really focus on your unique skills and experiences. What makes you a great candidate? What value do you bring? Especially when you're looking within specific Michigan industries, like manufacturing or tourism. Highlight what makes you stand out for those local opportunities.
Exactly. Own your strengths. And related to belief, you need to feel the emotions of already having that job. This is where it gets really powerful. Imagine waking up on a Monday morning, excited to go to work in your new role. How does that feel? Feel that joy, that satisfaction, that sense of purpose. When you vibrate at that frequency, you become a magnet for it.
Oh, that's such a game changer. It's not just thinking about it, it's feeling it. Like visualizing your drive along I-75 to your new office, or imagining yourself grabbing coffee with new colleagues in downtown Kalamazoo. Get specific with those emotional details.
Precisely. And here's the crucial part, because the law of attraction isn't just about sitting back and wishing, it's about inspired action. When you've set your intention, you're clear, you believe, and you're feeling good, you'll start to notice opportunities, synchronicities, and ideas that you might have otherwise missed.
Ah, yes, the action piece. This is where some people get stuck. They think, oh, I'm just going to visualize and it'll land in my lap. And while sometimes amazing things can happen that way, usually the universe works through you taking action. But it's a different kind of action, isn't it? It's not desperate action.
Definitely not desperate action. It's action that feels good, feels right. You might suddenly feel compelled to update your LinkedIn profile or reach out to a connection you haven't spoken to in years who happens to work at a company you admire. You might stumble upon a job posting that feels like it was written just for you, maybe on a local Michigan job board you hadn't checked before.
I've had that happen. Like I'd be at a local coffee shop in Lansing, just having a casual conversation, and someone would mention an opportunity that felt completely aligned. It wasn't something I went searching for. It just presented itself because I was in that open, receptive state.
That's exactly it. It's about being open and receptive to the signs and opportunities that come your way. Maybe you feel drawn to attend a specific networking event, say a Michigan-centric industry mixer, or you decide to take an online course that suddenly makes you more qualified for a role you've been eyeing. These are inspired actions.
And it makes the whole process less draining too. When you're operating from a place of positive expectation and inspiration, applying for jobs doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like an exciting step towards something you're genuinely looking forward to.
Absolutely. Let's talk about some Michigan specifics here, because the job market can vary so much across the state. Whether you're in the bustling city environment of Detroit, the innovative healthcare hub of Grand Rapids, or the university town of Ann Arbor, the principle remains the same. Focus your intention on what you want in that specific location.
Right. For example, if you're targeting Detroit, you might visualize yourself working for one of the big automotive companies, or maybe a growing tech startup. or even a non-profit contributing to urban revitalization. Get into the vibe of that specific city and industry.
Exactly. And for those in more rural parts of Michigan, perhaps you're visualizing a remote role that allows you to stay close to the natural beauty of the Upper Peninsula, or a role in local tourism if you're in Traverse City. The law of attraction adapts to your desires, no matter where you are geographically.
It's all about aligning your energy with what's available and what you genuinely want to attract. And I think gratitude plays a huge role here too, doesn't it? Being grateful for where you are now, and also for the job that's on its way to you.
Oh, absolutely. Gratitude is a massive attractor. Even if you're in a job you don't love right now, finding things to be grateful for in your current situation, perhaps the skills you're learning, the colleagues, the paycheck, elevates your vibration. And being grateful in advance for your dream job helps you feel like it's already yours. It's not wishful thinking, it's a statement of conviction.
So, let's say someone is doing all of this, visualizing, affirming, feeling good, but they're not seeing immediate results. What's your advice then, Rachel? How do they stay in that positive space?
That's a really important question, Amber, because sometimes there can be a delay, or the path isn't exactly what we expected. First, review your clarity. Are you really clear, or are there conflicting desires? Second, check your belief. Are you truly believing it's possible, or is there a nagging doubt undermining your efforts? And third, examine your inspired action. Are you truly listening to your intuition, or are you just doing busy work out of fear?
That's a good point about conflicting desires. Sometimes we say we want one thing, but deep down we might have fears about it, like, what if I get a great job but it's too demanding? Or, what if I have to move away from my family in Michigan? Those underlying fears can block the manifestation.
Exactly. You need to address those fears, journal about them, talk them out, reframe them. Recognize that the universe wants to bring you what's best, and sometimes the best path might not look exactly like you imagined. Be open to different avenues, different roles, different companies, especially in a diverse job market like Michigan's.
So, flexibility is key, not rigid attachment to a specific outcome, but a general direction with an open mind to how it manifests.
Absolutely. It's like ordering a meal at a restaurant. You specify what you want, but you trust the chef to prepare it and bring it to you. You don't stand up and go into the kitchen to cook it yourself. You relax, you enjoy the wait, and you know it's coming.
That's a brilliant analogy, and it brings us back to that feeling component, feeling good during the waiting period, not feeling anxious or desperate, but feeling calm and expectant. I think that's where gratitude for the present moment really shines.
Couldn't agree more. And it's also about recognizing that the process itself can be part of the journey. You might meet incredible people during your job search, gain new skills, or discover something new about yourself. Even if it's not the exact job you initially envisioned, those experiences are still part of the manifestation.
So, to quickly recap for our listeners who are ready to manifest their dream job here in Michigan, first, get super clear on what you want. Not just a job, but the job. What industry, what culture, what location, whether it's the bustling scene of Detroit or the serene beauty of the UP for a remote role. Visualize it down to the last detail.
Second, believe it's possible for you. Challenge those negative self-talk patterns with powerful affirmations. Remind yourself of your unique skills and value, especially as they relate to Michigan's diverse economy. And third, cultivate the feeling of already having that job. Feel the joy, the excitement, the gratitude right now.
And finally, take inspired action. This isn't about aimlessly sending out hundreds of resumes. It's about listening to your intuition, following up on leads that feel right, networking with intention, and being open to opportunities that present themselves. Don't force it, but don't just sit there either.
And remember, the Michigan job market is vibrant and diverse. Whether you're in automotive, tech, agriculture, tourism, or healthcare, there are incredible opportunities waiting for you. By aligning your energy with what you desire, you truly can attract the perfect role.
It's all about becoming a magnet for your ideal career. It might sound simple, but the consistent application of these principles can genuinely transform your job search from a stressful ordeal into an empowering journey. We hope this has given you some valuable insights and actionable steps.
Absolutely. So go out there, get clear, believe, feel, and act with intention. Your dream job in Michigan is waiting for you. Thanks for joining us today, Amber.
Thanks, Rachel, and to all our listeners, keep manifesting, and we'll catch you next time.
Job searching is one of the most misunderstood, emotionally charged, and poorly taught life skills in modern society. People are told to apply, network, more, or fix their awesome. But rarely are they taught how the job market actually works, how employers truly make decisions, or how to think strategically instead of desperately. As a result, millions of capable people internalize rejection, doubt their value, and remain stuck not because they lack ability, but because they lack clarity, positioning, and process. The first truth every job seeker must understand is this: the job market is not fair, but it is predictable. Employers do not hire the best candidate in a moral sense. They hire the candidate who reduces their risk the fastest. Risk is the invisible force behind every hiring decision. Risk of wasted time, risk of poor performance, risk of turnover, risk of conflict, risk of customer dissatisfaction. Every awesome interview and background check exists to answer one question: is this person a safe bet? Once you understand that, job searching stops feeling personal and starts feeling strategic. Most job seekers begin their search emotionally. They search when they are desperate, angry, scared, or exhausted. Emotion driven job searching leads to random applications, poorly tailored RSMS, rushed interviews, and burnout. Strategic job searching begins with mindset. You are not begging for work, you are offering value. You are not competing against the entire world. You are positioning yourself for the right opportunity at the right moment. One of the biggest mistakes job seekers make is believing that more applications equal more opportunities. Quantity of productive, but relevance is what creates traction. Employers receive hundreds of applications for many roles. They do not carefully review all of them. They scan, they filter, they eliminate quickly. If your awesome does not clearly communicate fit within seconds, it disappears. This is not cruelty, it is volume. That means your job is not to apply everywhere. Your job is to apply intelligently. Effective job searching starts with understanding yourself before engaging the market. You need clarity on three things: what you can realistically do, what you are willing to do, and what you should avoid doing. Many people apply for jobs they do not actually want, jobs that conflict with their schedule, values, or physical limits, simply because they feel pressure to accept anything. This leads to short tenures, dissatisfaction, and repeated job searching cycles. The job is not just income, it is time, energy, and identity. Choosing poorly costs more than waiting slightly longer to choose well. That does not mean being unrealistic, it means being honest. Once you have clarity, you need to translate it into employer language. Job seekers often describe themselves using internal logic: how hard they work, how much they care, how motivated they are. Employers care about outcomes. Can you show up on time? Can you learn quickly? Can you handle pressure? Can you work with others? Can you follow instructions? Can you solve problems without constant supervision? These traits matter across industries more than specific technical skills. This is why transferable skills are so powerful. A warehouse worker who understands safety, efficiency, teamwork, and accountability can succeed in logistics, manufacturing, facilities, and operations roles. Customer service representative who manages conflict, communicates clearly, and handles systems can transition into healthcare admin, call centers, financial services, or retail management. Job titles change, skills travel, but transferable skills must be translated. Employers do not assume. If you do not explain how your experience applies, They will not connect the dots for you. Surveys exist to earn interviews, not jobs. Interviews exist to earn trust, not approval. Many job seekers confuse these stages. They treat resumes like autobiographies and interviews like interrogations. Both should be treated as conversations focused on alignment. A strong resume is clear, not clever. It is specific, not vague. It prioritizes relevance over completeness. Employers do not need to know everything you have ever done. They need to know what you can do for them. This means tailoring matters. Some that works for one role may fail for another. Small adjustments, keywords, reordered bullet points, emphasized achievements can dramatically change outcomes. Online applications alone are rarely enough. Most hires still happen through some form of human connection: referrals, job fairs, networking events, internal recommendations. This does not mean you need to know someone important. It means you need to be visible. Visibility comes from showing up where employers are, not just where job postings live. Career fairs, hiring events, industry meetups, workforce programs, alumni networks, and even volunteering create proximity. Proximity creates familiarity. Familiarity reduces risk. Networking is not asking for favors. Networking is building context. When someone can put a face, voice, and personality to a awesome, your chances increase. This is why job fairs work. Employers can assess attitude, communication, and presence immediately. A candidate who makes a strong impression in person can bypass automated filters entirely. Interviews are where mindset matters most. Many job seekers enter interviews trying to impress, performing instead of connecting. Employers are not looking for perfection. They are looking for reliability, honesty, and fit. When you exaggerate, dodge questions, or pretend to know things you do not, experienced interviewers notice. Trust erodes quickly. A successful interview is not about saying the right thing. It is about answering clearly, listening carefully, and demonstrating self awareness. When asked about weaknesses, acknowledge something real and show how you manage it. When asked about experience gaps, explain them confidently and redirect to strengths. When asked behavioral questions, give concrete examples. Stories stick. Generalities fade. Job searching also requires resilience. Rejection is part of the process, not evidence of failure. Many roles are filled internally, paused due to budget changes, or reshaped mid search. Sometimes the no has nothing to do with you. The only way to guarantee failure is to stop. However, persistence without reflection becomes wasted effort. If you are applying consistently and getting no interviews, something is wrong with your RSM or targeting. If you are getting interviews but no offers, something is wrong with how you present yourself or align expectations. Job searching is iterative. Adjustments are necessary. Another critical but rarely discussed aspect of job searching is timing. Hiring cycles fluctuate. End of quarter freezes, budget approvals, seasonal demand, and leadership changes affect decisions. This means patience matters. It also means preparation matters. When opportunity appears, readiness determines speed. Job seekers who wait until they are desperate to prepare are always behind. Job seekers who prepare continuously even while employed have leverage. Updating assessments, maintaining LinkedIn profiles, tracking accomplishments, and nurturing professional relationships should be ongoing, not emergency activities. Mental health cannot be ignored in job searching. Prolonged searching can erode confidence and identity. Rejection accumulates. Silence feels personal. This is why structure is important. Set daily or weekly goals. Separate job searching time from rest time. Avoid constant doom scrolling on job boards. Measure progress by actions taken, not outcomes alone. Finally, job searching is not just about getting hired. It is about choosing environments where you can grow, be respected, and contribute meaningfully. A job that harms your health, values, or stability is not success. Employment should support life, not consume it. The goal is not just to work. The goal is to build momentum, dignity, and opportunity. This is only the beginning. Once you understand that job searching is about reducing employer risk, everything else starts to make sense, especially the way our summaries are reviewed, filtered, and rejected. Most job seekers imagine a hiring manager carefully reading each ASAM line by line. That image is comforting, but it is rarely accurate. In reality, RSMs are often scanned under time pressure, filtered by software, or reviewed by someone who may not fully understand the role. This means clarity and alignment matter far more than creativity or length. Applicant tracking systems, often referred to as ATS, are designed to narrow large pools of candidates quickly. They are not intelligent judges of potential. They are pattern matchers. They look for keywords, job titles, skills, certifications, and timelines that align with what the employer believes they need. If your ASAM does not speak the same language as the job posting, it may never reach human eyes. This is why people with experience sometimes get no response at all. It is not that they are unqualified, it is that they are untranslated. Job seekers often resist tailoring their resumes because it feels dishonest or exhausting. In reality, tailoring is simply emphasis. You are not changing who you are. You are choosing which parts of your experience to highlight based on relevance. Employers do the same thing when they write job postings. They emphasize what matters most to them at that moment. The strongest RSMs are built backward. Instead of starting with your history, you start with the job you want. You analyze the posting carefully. You identify repeated words, required skills, and stated outcomes. Then you align your ASAM to reflect those needs honestly. If a job emphasizes teamwork, your ASAM should show collaboration. If it emphasizes accuracy, your ASAM should reflect precision. If it emphasizes speed or volume, your ASAM should reflect productivity. Another mistake job seekers make is assuming that employment gaps automatically disqualify them. Gaps are common: layoffs, caregiving, education, illness, and transitions happen. Employers are not blind to this reality. What concerns them is unexplained or evasive gaps. A brief, confident explanation is usually enough. Trying to hide gaps or manipulate dates often creates more suspicion than transparency. Interviews are the second major filter, and they operate very differently from ASMEs. While ASMEs focus on capability, interviews focus on behavior. Employers already assume you can do the job at some level if they invited you to interview. Now they want to know how you think, how you respond to pressure, and how you interact with others. This is why behavioral interview questions are so common. Tell me about a time. Questions are designed to predict future behavior based on past patterns. Employers believe that how you handled challenges before is how you will handle them again. Vague answers frustrate interviewers. Specific examples reassure them. Many job seekers answer questions in abstract terms. They speak in generalities. I always work hard. I am a team player. I communicate well. These statements are meaningless without evidence. A strong answer includes context, action, and outcome. What was the situation? What did you do? What happened as a result? Even simple examples are effective if they are clear. Job searching also involves understanding employer psychology beyond formal processes. Employers are human. They have biases, pressures, and preferences. They are often overworked and understaffed. Hiring is one of many responsibilities they juggle. This means candidates who make their lives easier stand out. Clear communication, punctuality, preparedness, and follow through matter more than charm. Another critical aspect of job searching is understanding that employers are not only evaluating you, they are imagining you. Hey, imagine you showing up late. They imagine you handling a difficult customer. They imagine you asking for help. They imagine you reacting to feedback. Every answer you give helps them construct that mental picture. Your goal is to help them imagine you succeeding, not struggling. This is why attitude matters so much. Employers can train skills. They cannot train willingness. A candidate who demonstrates curiosity, humility, And accountability feels safer than someone who appears arrogant, defensive, or disengaged. Thinking you already know everything is one of the fastest ways to stall your growth in a new role. Job searching also requires understanding compensation realistically. Many candidates either undervalue themselves out of fear or overvalue themselves out of pride. Both create problems. Employers have budgets, markets have ranges. Research matters. Knowing typical pay for your role and region allows you to negotiate intelligently rather than emotionally. Negotiation is not confrontation, it is alignment. It is asking, can we make this work for both of us? Another often overlooked component of job searching is reference management. References are not an afterthought, they are risk reduction tools for employers. Choose references who know your work, not just your title. Prepare them. Tell them what roles you are pursuing and what strengths to emphasize. A strong reference can reinforce everything you said in an interview. A weak or unprepared reference can undo it. Job searching is also influenced by timing and momentum. Candidates who move quickly through processes often get hired faster. Responding promptly to emails, scheduling interviews quickly, and completing assessments on time signals seriousness. Employers notice responsiveness. Silence or delay can be interpreted as disinterest, even when unintentional. One of the most damaging beliefs job seekers hold is that rejection defines their worth. It does not. Rejection reflects fit, timing, and competition. Sometimes the best candidate does not get the job because the employer already had an internal hire in mind. Sometimes the role changes mid search. Sometimes budgets freeze. Job seekers who internalize rejection lose confidence unnecessarily. Confidence is not pretending everything is fine. Confidence is continuing to act with intention even when outcomes are uncertain. Employers sense this. Desperation repels. Calm persistence attracts. Researching is also a numbers game, but not in the way most people think. It is not about applying to hundreds of jobs blindly. It is about creating multiple channels, applications, networking, referrals, recruiters, job fairs, workforce agencies, and direct outreach all matter. When you rely on only one channel, rejection feels catastrophic. When you diversify, rejection feels manageable. Direct outreach is especially underutilized. Many job seekers wait passively for postings. Proactive candidates research companies they admire and reach out respectfully. They express interest. They ask about opportunities. They introduce themselves professionally. Not every outreach leads to a job, but it increases visibility. Visibility leads to opportunity. Job searching also requires adaptability. The market changes. Industries evolve. Technology shifts. Skills that were in demand 5 years ago may be less relevant today. Continuous learning is no longer optional. Short courses, certifications, and self directed learning can dramatically improve employability. Employers respect candidates who invest in themselves. Another critical but often ignored aspect is storytelling. Humans remember stories better than facts. Your career is a story. Your transitions, challenges, and growth can be framed positively if you take ownership of the narrative. You are not defined by what happened to you. You are defined by how you responded. Job searching is also about patience without complacency. Some searches take longer than expected. This does not mean you stop trying. It means you refine strategy. It means you seek feedback. It means you adjust expectations without abandoning standards. Support matters. Job searching alone is isolating. Seeking guidance from career counselors, mentors, workforce organizations, and peers can provide perspective and accountability. No one succeeds entirely alone, even when it looks that way from the outside. The final truth of job searching is this: it is not a reflection of your worth as a human being. It is a process of alignment between needs and abilities. When alignment happens, hiring feels easy. When it does not, no amount of force will make it right. Understanding this protects your confidence, preserves your dignity, and keeps you moving forward intelligently rather than emotionally. One of the most misunderstood elements of job searching is networking. For many people, the word itself triggers discomfort, fear, or cynicism. They imagine forced conversations, fake enthusiasm, or asking strangers for favors. Because of this misunderstanding, many job seekers either avoid networking entirely or approach it in a way that feels desperate and ineffective. The truth is that networking is not about asking for jobs. It is about building context, trust, and familiarity over time. Employers hire people they feel comfortable with, and comfort comes from exposure, not perfection. When you think about networking correctly, it becomes less about performance and more about presence. You are not trying to impress everyone, you are trying to be remembered by the right people. Memory is built through clarity, consistency, and professionalism. This is why repeated exposure matters. One conversation rarely changes everything, but multiple small interactions over time create recognition. Recognition reduces risk. Reduced risk increases hiring probability. Job fairs are one of the most powerful but underutilized networking environments because they compress time and access. In a single day, you can speak directly to dozens of employers who are actively hiring. This bypasses many of the filters that eliminate candidates online. But job fairs only work if you treat them strategically. Walking into a job fair without preparation is like walking into an exam without studying. You might get lucky, but odds are not in your favor. Strategic job fair mindset starts before you arrive. You research the employers. You identify which roles align with your experience or goals. You prepare your introduction. You bring multiple assamese who dress professionally but comfortably. You plan your energy because job fairs are marathons, not sprints. The candidates who succeed pace themselves, stay focused, and engage intentionally. At job fairs, recruiters are not just listening to what you say, they are evaluating how you say it. They notice eye contact, tone,